Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, we're talking about Steam games on Android with GameNative. For those who may or may not be aware, GameNative allows you to play games you own on Steam directly on Android devices. And GameNative just got a brand new update. So at the time of filming, version 0.5.2 is the latest and greatest update for GameNative. And this one I would say is a pretty big update. There's a bunch of fixes and a bunch of very interesting stuff like this here. Reduced heat while downloading, made downloads faster, fixed games that would not download previously by integrating Java Steam version 1.8.0. They've overhauled DRM to make more games work, like Halo Master Chief Collection. They've reduced crashes and improved app responsiveness generally. And this one will be a big feature I think a lot of people will like. Added automatic updates in app, no more needing to go to GitHub. On top of that, they've added in an option here to go into offline mode manually in the app, and there's even more stuff here. This is a great update for GameNative. And speaking about great updates, next up we're kind of talking about the exact opposite depending on how you look at this. If you're Microsoft, maybe not. But for everyone else, probably yes. Listen to this headline over on Rock Paper Shotgun. Microsoft detail Agentic AI plan for Windows 11. Immediately admit it might install malware on your PC. Go figure. I recommend checking out this article for more information on the matter, and if you are interested and wanted to learn more about it, like everything we talk about, links will be within the GitHub link in the bottom of the description below. I don't hide my sources. Anyways, here, listen to this paragraph. Microsoft have delivered a timely reminder that AI isn't just effective at injecting ugly, soulless anti-art and nonsense robo-chat into your games. It also has the power to ruin your entire PC. Furthermore, this is huge. Listen to this. Agentic AI may introduce security risks such as cross-prompt injection, where malicious content embedded in UI elements or documents can override agent instructions, leading to unintended actions like data exfiltration or malware installation. If that doesn't scare you, well, it kind of scares me. It's a little bit alarming here. Again, I recommend checking out this article for more information on the matter. I don't necessarily think it's fear-mongering. I think it's being realistic given the circumstances and what Microsoft is admitting. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of Windows 11, and taking a look at this, I've got more questions than answers here. And I'm hoping there's going to be a way to completely disable this stuff and just flat out not use it. But I've got my doubts for moving forward with Windows 11 and the direction they're taking. And speaking about absolute messes and interesting articles, next up here we're talking about a really interesting article up on Polygon. It's titled, GameStop Workers Say Its Trade Anything Day Will Be an Absolute Mess. From my understanding, this information came from Wario64, who picked it up from Reddit. And I'm really curious to see how this is enforced across the board here, but I guess this is happening on December 6th. And it's limited to one item per customer, trade value set at $5 store credit. And suitable items traded will be donated to local charity. There are a lot of exclusions here, but taking a look at the comments, and I'm very curious to see what ends up happening. Because the comment on the post on Reddit says, they didn't exclude humans, human parts, human remains, or NSFW items. You can trade your grandma's ashes into GameStop for $5. And check out this reply, which isn't jokes, it's very serious. Bring one acceptable item and get $5. I'm rejecting trash and junk, but you bet I'm going to start telling my guests now and encouraging them to bring non-perishable canned foods and such, or toys since they all get donated to local charities. Buy a 70-cent can of soup traded in for a $5 credit, and help needy families get food this holiday. I'm always down for that. I really like this approach. I'm not going to lie here. I'm really curious to know if some crazy items get traded in. I guess they are accepting taxidermy. So who knows here? If you've got some crazy stories, let me know in the comments below. Moving on, and we're talking about 8-Bit Do. And if you're a fan of 8-Bit Do, or 8-Bit Do, I guess, or subscribe to Mr. Sujano. I'm not quite sure on how to pronounce that name correctly. Anyways, here, if you're a fan of 8-Bit Do, the Ultimate 2C wireless controller just got a brand new colorway. I think this one looks really good. They're calling this one transparent black, but I guess if you're a fan of Xbox or just black and green, you probably will like this controller. It's $30 overall, it's not very expensive, and it starts shipping November 8th, which, well, I guess is already passed. And on a side note here, if you are a fan of 8BitDo, here's a pro tip for you. Check out the Agnes website. They also have an Amazon store. Now, I'm not directly affiliated with Agnes. I don't have an affiliate account with them, but I do have an Amazon affiliate account. Sometimes I'll drop an Amazon affiliate link in the description. Anyways here, taking a look at their website, they often get exclusive 8BitDo stuff, like exclusive colorways. On top of that, take a look at their prices. So on their website, this controller is currently available for $25. It's $4 or $5 off. And speaking about new hardware, next up we're talking about AYANEO, who showcased their Pocket Vert. Sorry, I'm just thinking of French. Pocket Vert as in vertical, not as in green. We were just talking about green stuff. Black and green stuff. Anyways here, taking a look, if you are interested in a Game Boy style of handheld from AYANEO, this might be up your alley. It is a premium product, and I'm not necessarily a fan of the glass front here. Maybe you are, but I don't like this design. I think I said that in a previous video. Now, the screen on this one is crazy. It's 1600 by 1440. It's 3.5 inches. It's an LCD. However, taking a look at the buttons there, the buttons also look super small. Maybe the person just has really big hands, but at the same time here, the buttons, so the A, B, X, Y buttons, do look pretty small. I have my concerns with this device just in terms of comfort and usability, and also it's probably a huge fingerprint magnet. But let me know your thoughts about that one in the comments below. Maybe I've got a hot take here. Now, unfortunately, at this point in time, I don't have any pricing on this device. It is being marketed as a premium device, so I'm guessing it's not going to be cheap. And speaking about handheld devices, next up we're talking about the arguably ultra-popular AYN Thor. And there's a very interesting article up on retrohandhelds.gg titled AYN Thor Hinges Begin Showing Signs of Cracking. So this information comes from a post on SBC Gaming, and it's called the AYN Thor Hinge Gate. AYN starts replacing cracked Thor devices. And there seem to be a lot of people with a very similar issue. I am curious to see what happens moving forward here. I haven't seen an official statement from AYN yet on the matter. I guess Retro Handhelds is in talks with them, and I'm curious to see if an official statement will be issued. It does appear that this is going to be a huge problem for the extremely popular in my opinion, AYN Thor. My advice here is if you do have an AYN Thor, I'd probably recommend joining the Retro Handhelds Discord, because they have a lot of people who have those devices as well, and they do have a very up-to-date chat group, and can probably help advise and also get you some up-to-date information on what to do if you do have something with a cracked hinge. And speaking about dual screens, but maybe not in the way that you'd think, next up here we're talking about the Wii U Gamepad. And take a look at this. This could be huge for people who have a Wii U Gamepad and don't mind hacking it up a little bit. Now, it is worth noting this process is not completely fleshed out perfectly just yet. The person behind this is trying to make it as user-friendly as possible, and I'm really curious to see the end state here. But let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. I think a lot of people with Wii U gamepads may be excited about this one. Who knows? And on a quick side note here for some clarification, because I think I just jumped right into this. This is for Cemu. If you take a look at the screenshot, that is Cemu on PC. I think this is very exciting. And speaking about exciting stuff, next up here, we're talking about PS2 Decompilation. Yes, you heard that correctly. And there's a brand new video on YouTube titled Resident Evil Code Veronica X Decompile 2D Graphics. I'd recommend checking this one out for more information on the matter, but it does appear that serious progress has been made on PS2 Decompilation, specifically with this game. The project is up on GitHub, and there's a whole lot of information about it, and I'm very curious to see what happens next, and I'm very curious to see if this person or other people tackle other PS2 games. Let me know your thoughts. And speaking about waiting and seeing, next up here, we're talking about something that may end up being real or may not be. We're going to have to wait and see. This one is called Devora, and it's basically Windows emulation on Android. Taking a look at this may be an alternative to something like GameHub or GameHub Lite or GameNative or Winlator. However, we don't know a whole lot about this one just yet. There is information up on Reddit emulation on Android, and again, if you're interested and wanted to learn more about it, all links are within that GitHub link below. I'm skeptical about this one, but hopeful, and I'm very curious to see what ends up happening here and what the overall performance is like. Next up here, we're talking about the Game Awards. Now, yesterday we talked about the Game Awards and their arguably a little bit controversial fighting game category where I don't see anything but Fatal Fury City of the Wolves winning. Anyways here, taking a look at this is, I think, the first time that the Game Awards have removed a game from a category at the developer's request. Now, if you're a fan of Megabonk, you may not like this update, but from an integrity standpoint, I think it's pretty good. Here's what the developer has to say. I'm withdrawing from the Game Awards. It's an honor and a dream for Megabonk to be nominated for the Game Awards, but unfortunately, I don't think it qualifies for the category debut indie game. I've made games in the past under different studio names, so Megabonk is not my debut game. So taking a look at the Game Awards website, and I can see that Megabonk has already been delisted. There's only 4 games up right now in the category for Best Debut Indie Game. Out of these 4 games, let me know which one you think is going to win in the comments below. I'm going to guess it's going to be Clair Obscur Expedition 33. And I do think Megabonk had a big chance at winning. And last up here, we're talking about Android games on Steam. And sadly, it's Bradley has done some digging and found the first ever official Android app on Steam. It is Walkabout Mini Golf. For those who may or may not be aware, this will be for the upcoming Steam Frame, their headset. And taking a look, Walkabout Mini Golf has 50 plus downloads on Android. Not a whole lot here, with just over 50 downloads, or 50 plus downloads, so maybe between 50 and 100. Very interesting overall that this is the first Android game on Steam, considering this does have an official Steam release with an overwhelmingly positive review score. However, and this is a big however, Brad says here, if you own this game on Steam already, the PC version, you will have access to the Android version on Steam Frame day 1. Let me know your thoughts about that in the comments below and the future in this space. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and the legendary one fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Feel free to discuss anything we talked about in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate. Save your state.